Solar thermal basics, heat versus electricity. Solar energy, or solar insolation, is measured in watts per square meter, with a typical value of 1,000 watts. A solar thermal panel will convert 85% of this energy into heat, while an electric panel will convert 15% into an electric current. This permits a solar thermal panel to generate up to 5 times as much energy as an electric solar panel. With heating and cooling being the majority of energies in a home, solar thermal panels can more efficiently lower a home's overall utility bills for the amount invested in a solar power installation. Let's look at the types of solar thermal systems. First, evacuated tube solar collectors. These systems comprise a series of evacuated glass tubes, a heat exchanger, and a plumbing line to transfer a heated fluid. They are best used in cold environments, but highly efficient. They're expensive, heavy, and difficult to install. The key specification is the number of BTUs per collector. It determines how many gallons of hot water produced. On average, you would need 5 solar electric panels to replace 1 evacuated tube collector. They are simple in concept. Sealed evacuated tubes are efficient enough that if fluid in the tubes boils through a gas, rises to the top, condenses, and falls back into the tube as a liquid, the heat produced in this continuous process transfers to the fluid flowing through the heat exchanger. The evacuated tubes in an evacuated tube collector eliminate heat loss to the outside. They operate on the same principle as a thermostat. One way to use a solar water heater is with an active direct system. The fluid flowing from the collector to the internal plumbing is water, but in North America, it is no longer safe to operate in this mode. In sub-freezing temperatures, if you lose both power and water pressure, the collector will most likely be damaged. In an active indirect system, glycol water solution that freezes at low temperature circulates. A water heater tank with a heat exchanger heats a home's hot water. The next type of a solar thermal system is a flat plate collector. These are smaller, less expensive, and lighter than evacuated tube systems, but in colder temperatures, much less efficient. They have a glass glazing, solar absorber, copper water tubing, and aluminum frame. The key difference is that most flat plate collectors use a large single pane of glass. In cold temperatures, this will lose 10 to 20% of the heat collected due to the glass's low U value, as much as 70 watts per hour. Due to this heat loss, flat plate collectors are less efficient with 1 panel equivalent to 4 electric panels. Because they can freeze, they require indirect plumbing. Total cost with panels, installation, and water tank can exceed $3,000. For hot water, you can use electric solar panels if you bypass your home's electrical system. A low-cost 1,500 watt water heater with a mechanical thermostat can be powered directly from solar panels. In this case, solar panels may be more cost efficient and also provide backup power to run your furnace during a power outage. Maximizing power output. The sun's position in the sky determines power generated. It fluctuates greatly from no power at night, rising through the day, reaching a maximum at noon, and falling through the afternoon. The amount of power used follows a different curve, with peak usage in the morning and around 5 p.m. You need 8.33 BTUs to raise 1 gallon of water 1 degrees Fahrenheit, 667 BTUs for 60 degrees Fahrenheit. To determine gallons per day of hot water, it is your system's BTU rating divided by 667. Scheduling hot water usage midday will maximize your system's potential. Most appliances now have delay settings so they can run on a schedule. The next category is solar air heaters or furnaces. Instead of water, they heat air. Almost identical to flat plate collectors, they have similar pros and cons and similar design. They cost and weigh as much. Instead of copper tubing, they have a baffle system. Air enters one end of the heater and is routed through the baffles. In transit, it collects heat from the backside of the absorber. Temperature rise can be as much as 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Their simplicity lends itself to do-it-yourself projects. Baffles are made from painted drain spouts and aluminum cans. Specific heat capacity is a measurement of how much energy a fluid or gas can absorb or release. Combined with air versus water density, it demonstrates the need to circulate over 3,000 times the volume of air. An air exchange system is measured in cubic feet per minute. A 3,200 square foot room with a 200 CFM fan requires 16 minutes to replace all the air in the room. But with a solar heater, the trade-off is that the higher the fan speed, the lower the heater's output temperature. Solar heaters are rather simple, requiring only air ducts, an air duct fan, and a temperature switch. In total, these cost less than $200. The simplest installation is to deliver heated air into a basement where it will automatically rise to your house, or with a forced hot air system into the ducting leading out of the furnace. The last category is flexible solar heaters or furnaces. On a price per panel basis, they equal or cost less than electric panels, but are still 5 times as efficient at 850 watts per square meter versus 150 watts per square meter. The most expensive part of a solar thermal panel is the glass glazing. A 3 by 8 foot piece of glass weighs over 80 pounds and costs over $270 with shipping. A flexible solar furnace has all the attributes of a flat plate collector but weighs less than 5 pounds and can be manufactured at high speeds and low cost. A piece of glass, 2 layers of an optical Teflon film, stainless steel springs, and a formed absorber are automatically merged at high speeds into a single panel. The springs automatically tension the Teflon film. A panel can be fabricated in under 15 seconds. Of all transparent materials, Teflon has the highest transmittance at 95%. Combining 2 layers reduces that to 92%, which cuts radiated heat loss in half over glass. When formed, the air baffle system is automatically incorporated, eliminating an additional part in the design. The combination of some wood framing, foam insulation boards, and 4 flexible panels can build a 5,600 watt thermal system for under $1,500. The panels connect to one another with end gaskets, making a seamless 9 square meter solar thermal collector. The total cost of a solar power installation needs to combine equipment costs, permitting costs, installation costs, and equipment costs. But on a watt or BTU per dollar basis, solar thermal systems are cost competitive and require lower overall investments.